Why doesn't this work? If you're learning to code in Streamer.bot for the first time, or you're still learning, and it just feels really impossible and overwhelming, let me try and save you a little bit of the frustration. I'm there, I've been there, and I want to share with you kind of 5 things I've learned that hopefully will give you a little bit of encouragement. But let's be very real. It's incredibly intimidating and overwhelming to get started. I'm gonna be honest, I struggle, I break things all the time, and I get stuck on something for so long that I almost want to completely give up on all of it. But today I really want to share with you 5 things that I have learned since I started learning to code knowing nothing and building myself to where I can actually make some things. And trust me, if I can do this, you can do this. So the problem is really, when you first start trying to learn how to code in Streamer.bot, you feel like you're being dropped into a foreign country and you have no translator, no map, no nothing. You see so many of these other creators building unbelievable things, custom alerts, these widgets that just do so many different things. And even I've seen where people are building full-on games for their chat. And you think, man, where do I even start with this? Or worse, you try to follow some of these tutorials, but nothing is really making any sense, and you don't understand a bit of this. And it's frustrating. It's super frustrating. But here's the thing. Every single person who knows how to code started out this way, as a beginner, breaking things, Googling every single error message they get, and just trying to figure out why things work the way they do. So let's break this down real quick. First off, the best way to start coding in Streamer.bot is to just start. Don't wait until you feel like you're ready. Don't try and read every guide or memorize every command before you get started. It won't work. Just pick something simple. Pick something you've already created with Streamer.bot with the built-in tools and learn from that. Take something as simple as making a video appear on the screen for a certain duration and then turning it off. Start learning how to code there. Just that way you can start seeing at least some of the ideas. Because we all have this tendency that we want to start building these massive, amazing things and we are not ready for it. So start small. Start with basically reinventing your own wheel. Take things that you've done, take that information and transfer it over into code. That's going to help you start understanding how the flow of it all works. It's about problem solving as you go. So, it's messy and there are going to be times you're not going to understand why things work the way they do, but it's part of the process. It's part of the process of learning how to develop yourself and move yourself forward. All right, the second thing, no one is ever going to say you have to know absolutely everything when you're coding, because guess what? Every single one of us has to look something up at some point, because you cannot keep all that information in your head. Now, the good news is there are literal thousands of different resources out there for learning C#, which is what Streamer.bot uses. But beyond that, learning HTML, JavaScript, CSS. Now, there's also official documentation, which Streamer.bot has. Full-on documentation, and I've showed it on numerous videos, and I'll show it again, because this is the primary thing that will help you through making anything in Streamer.bot. But beyond that, there's also tutorials on YouTube on starting out how to make something in C#, and it's very simple, very easy things that'll help give you those foundations. But there's also forums, and there's also Streamer.bot's own Discord, where if you ask a question because you're genuinely confused, I guarantee you're gonna get a response from at least one person, because there's always somebody on there who is willing to share their knowledge. I can't tell you the amount of times I get stuck on something and then I reach out to somebody and I get a response of, oh man, well, why didn't you try this? Here's something I found that's probably causing this problem. I get the feedback I need, and I can then proceed with actually making it and getting it to work. Do I keep that information in my head all the time? No, because it is sometimes just overwhelming that you're just happy it works and you'll memorize it at some point. The big thing here is understanding that no matter what you're trying to do, there is a resource out there for you. Use it. The third thing I'm going to tell you is breaking your code is a good thing. It's good to break your code. It sounds weird, I know, but breaking your code is one of the best things you can do, because Well, that's going to make you dig deeper into why things work. So let me kind of give you an example. And this was actually more in the HTML JavaScript world, where I was trying to put together my own prize wheel. I can't build it with C#, but found stuff for HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, which I really didn't know anything about. Well, I had got the wheel to work, and then I was like, yay, this is great. And then I really wanted to take the colors of the wheel and make them gradients. I wanted to just, add a little visual something to it. And what wound up happening was every single slice on the wheel turned into squares that just overlapped each other. And then the text was completely off the wheel and just everything broke. And I was so upset with myself, but I didn't give up. I broke it, and I was determined I was going to figure out how to fix it. And it took, longer than I was comfortable with. It took about 3-4 weeks for me to finally figure out what needed to be fixed in order to get it to work. I mean, through that process of trying to make it work, it made me have to look at it as, well, why did it break? What was I doing? Is there something that I moved out of place? Or, because all I did was just add something to it and it just completely broke the whole thing. This presents those opportunities for you to have to dig in, and you start understanding really the next thing that I'm going to put out here for you guys. So here in the fourth thing that I'm going to go over here is that one of the realities is that coding is 10% writing and 90% debugging and figuring out why it's not working. So look, I've tried learning other languages before. I was forced to do it during my bachelor's degree, where I had to take 2 years of Spanish in 1 year. So I had to do their intensive Spanish courses for 2 hours a day, starting at 7 a.m. That was punishment enough to have to wake up at 7 a.m. and then go to something that I just am absolutely garbage at, learning another language. I can't keep that stuff in my head. And coding, honestly, is a lot like that in some ways, except here's where it's easier for me now, because I started learning that it's not the vocabulary that I struggle with, the words, all these words that I don't understand, like Boolean and void, async, and when do I use public, private? What do those actually do? I was so focused on the vocabulary of everything that when I realized the syntax of everything is what I really needed to look at, everything started really clicking a lot better. Now, the syntax is basically like your sentence structure. When I started looking at entire sections, just kind of taking the vocabulary out of it, going, why do I use this way, where I'm using variable equals this, rather than CPH, try get arg, and go that route. Well, there's different ways you have to do it, and you have to start understanding how those sentences are built to make a paragraph. So think of it like this. Coding has grammar rules, and once you get the hang of the structure, you'll be able to build the sentences. So basically the scripts. The vocabulary, the words that you're using, which would be specific commands, that comes with the practice. Those words will start making sense when you're trying to build sentences. And just like we did way back when we were in grade school, it's the same process. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna put your noun in the wrong place. You're gonna put the verb in the wrong place. Don't stress about remembering everything. Just focus on understanding how things need to flow to make a kind of coherent sentence, something that is understandable. All right, there's one last thing that I'm going to share with you. And I mean, this probably might be obvious, but I also want this to be the thing that encourages you the most. And that is this. The reward at the end is so worth it. Because coding, yes, again, super hard. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I am not going to lie to you when I say, once you actually get something to work in code you wrote, I don't think I've really felt a sense of pride in myself like I have when I've got my code to finally work. Not only is this, hey, I learned to code and it works, but when you get to show it off on the stream and you're super excited to show off what you created, and then people get to see what you created. They get to interact with it. And they go, oh, wow, man, that's really cool. I like what you did there. And then you're like, oh my God, let me tell you all about it. Getting those little things where people can go, wow, that's a nice little feature. I wish I had that. And you get this sense of, ooh, I did it. It's so great. And the best part, the coding community, especially with the Streamer.bot community, so welcoming and incredibly supportive that one of my favorite channels in the Streamer.bot Discord is their show off channel. where people go in and literally show what they built. And the thing is, if you ask questions, they are there, always willing to share, which is great. They want to help you through and help you figure out how to do this yourself. So just know you're never going to do it alone. And when you finally reach that end moment where you finally got it to work, oh my God, you're going to want to go to that channel. You're going to want to show it off, and you're going to be like, guys, look what I did. And the thing is, no matter how small it is, everybody's super excited for you. So think about this. Every time you learn something new in Streamer.bot, you're not just improving your stream, you're opening up opportunities to create things really no one else has done. When you start, you're definitely making stuff that people have done before or stuff you've already made before, but that's just the baby steps into it. Once you start really trying to think of different things and really expand outward, I mean, it's frustrating, but man, you can make some amazing things. And the best part is your viewers are going to notice this effort, and they're going to stick around in your stream because you have this thing that nobody else has, and they're going to ask questions. They're going to be curious about it, and you get to share. You get to share and be excited about this thing you created. When the viewers notice the effort that you are putting into the stream, they start wanting to be there more often. They want to engage with you more often. It's not really what you're putting on the screen. It's the fact that you care enough to do something with your stream. You know, you're not trying to just be like, I play video games and I sit here. You're actually trying to do something unique, something new. I mean, that's the magic to learning code, is that you get to constantly try to make something new. This is what really makes the Streamer.bot experience so special. I hope this kind of encourages you to actually take those steps. Stop being afraid to dive into coding, because if I'm diving into coding and I have anxiety issues, you can do this too. And if you really want to see some of the stuff I make, and I will continue to show you guys how to make stuff without coding, just subscribe. I will always have those things coming out. I have videos that are going to keep coming out. Oh, that'll go over Streamer.bot. I have stuff that's going to go over OBS. I will always be pumping out new things for you guys to learn. So with that, my friends, I hope this gives you a little bit of encouragement, and I will catch you on the next video.